Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to Dragon Ball Nation. Today I'm giving you guys another Dragon Ball Super episode review. Today reviewing episode 58, a day late, a little bit later than I usually do, but regardless, it was a pretty solid episode. Not a lot of action, but some really nice development and story points that were really hit in this episode, and I really did like that. We start off with Goku, Vegeta, and Trunks. Well, we don't really start with this, but they do get sensu beamed, I guess you could call it. They get the sensu beans and are healed up, and Goku wants to go and try to fight Gowasu again and suggests that they should eat a bowl of sensu beans to become immortal. A little bit weird on there, but aside from all that, we do get the moments that we see in the preview that Zamasu is going up to Zuno, the guy that knows literally everything, and asks about Super Dragon Balls and where he can find them and all that stuff. Threatens to, pretty much threatens to kill him and all that stuff. So he gets his information. It's really just an episode that is filled with info. There's not a lot. There's not really any action. It is really just building the story, and for me, that's fine. I don't mind an episode like this. It's very consistent the whole way through. It doesn't detract from what it's trying to do. It stays very consistent in the pace and tone it's trying to approach, and that's what I liked about it a lot. So Goku explains how powerful Goku Black is and that Zamasu is an immortal being and all that stuff. Explains the Super Saiyan transformation, which he completely forgets the name of. It's Vegeta reminds me that it is Super Saiyan Rose, and Bulma even thinks the name is stupid. That's what I like. They're very self-aware that these names are stupid, like just the people that create the show. Obviously Toriyama, if he's the one who did actually come up with this name. The whole team, they just, when they make this property and these episodes, they always seem self-aware if something sounds really silly. We think Super Saiyan Rose is kind of stupid. That's because it's supposed to be. And in a way that's good, and some people say, well, I'd still like a more badass transformation or something. I think the form looks awesome. And I like that they are, kind of poking fun at the name. Kind of like with Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan, and Super Saiyan Blue. They kind of poked a little fun at that. I like that they're very self-aware about all that stuff. But a giant chunk of this episode, really what it boiled down to was the Supreme Kai coming down with Beerus and Whis. If you saw the episode, you know what I'm talking about, obviously. And then Whis kind of giving his theory on what's going on, what he's came to the conclusion of after hearing everything that's been going on. He's talking about how Zamasu is gathering the Super Dragon Balls. Basically, he regurgitates stuff that we already saw in this episode, but then lays on the fact that this wish he's making is, in his opinion, it's obviously not factual, but Whis is saying that he thinks that Zamasu goes and asks for a copy of Goku, and that forms Goku Black. Is that how Goku Black's going to be made? We're not really sure, because even in the episode, they're like, well, why does him and Zamasu have the same key? That doesn't make any sense. And he couldn't really answer it, so it could still be something different that is just a wish. But at the same time, he also says he's going to wish for immortality as well with the second wish, and he's going to acquire the time rings to quicken the process of getting these wishes with the Super Dragon Balls. So we get some footage. The stuff we saw in the preview of him actually making the wish, that never really happens. It's just like, what if this happens? Like, he's explaining it, and then they show footage of what would be happening. It's just footage that's describing what he's saying. So it's not something that even really happens, which was, more tricky editing on Toei's part to really slide that in there and entice us to want to watch this episode. Like, oh boy, he's making a wish this episode. He's not really. It's not what's happening. But Bulma kind of figures out, like, okay, so something bad, they kind of all decide, like, to go to Universe 10 to find Gowasu, the actual Kai, the older one, because he's in trouble. Or they think he's in trouble because they're going to need to get the time ring somehow. They're going to need those, but they didn't even mention the Patara earrings, but, I mean, Zamasu and Black both have the Patara earrings that Gowasu have. So I think that's kind of what happened, but are they going to prevent everything? I don't know. I understand there's been episode titles leaked. I haven't actually had a chance to look them over, and I'll talk about that in my predictions tomorrow. But for now, I don't really know any of the future episodes, so I apologize for not having that information right here, but most people probably don't want to hear about it for spoilers. There's this cool part, I think it did detract a little bit, but at the same time it was a cool scene, is when they went back to the future, not Goku and the gang, but you know, they just cut back to the future to see what's going on with Mai. Mai is still alive, they are running away, grabs Yajirobe, they go underground into the subway and have the group of the Resistance, and they're saying like, you know, we don't think we're going to win this. The morale's really going down. I think that's a cool scene to have that in Dragon Ball. But it did detract a little bit, but at the same time, it still was a good scene. But I think that maybe it didn't need to be there. I don't know. Maybe it was just me. It wasn't a big deal, but it did, I think, detract a little bit. But it wasn't a huge deal. So Goku, Beerus, Whis, they, you know, go down there and talk to Gowasu, ask where Zamasu is, and they don't really say what's going on yet until Goku goes like, oh, Zamasu's a bad guy in the future, and then Beerus smacks him on the head. But Gowasu's there and doesn't know where Zamasu's been all day. He's been calling for him, and he hasn't been around because he's obviously been out looking for the figuring out what the Super Dragon Balls are and all that stuff. But Beerus is like, have you ever noticed anything weird about him? Are you very suspicious? They kind of explain, like, Gowasu explains that at this point, Zamasu does not have any doubts in his mind on what he wants to do. So he's even aware that there's kind of like some crazy crap going on here, for sure. And Zamasu comes out at the end and has more tea, which will probably be that big thing about, you know, they keep focusing on the tea. I know the tea like changes due to like emotion or something like that, but this is gonna be like that big thing that the tea, especially from this preview that we saw, the tea is a big deal. It's gonna be like poisoned or something, and I don't know if that's what's gonna kill Gowasu if he gets, you know, murdered or whatever, or if they prevent it. And I'm interested to see what the next episode has in store in terms of are they fighting Zamasu? Is Zamasu gonna fight Goku again? All that good stuff. So that's pretty much it for the review. Again, it's a good episode. I like the story points they hit off. They did good explanation of things. Stuff we already really speculated as fans of the series. Doing our predictions and, you know, just looking over the show in general. But even some cool stuff. I like that they showed off that Whis has his predictions. One thing I really like that's been going on with Super, with this arc, with Zamasu, we know he's evil in the future. What I like though is that since we do get to see him in the present time, what I like is that we kind of get to almost see that evolution or that build up to him being evil, but I think in the end it's going to be something that is stopped, and they're just going to have to deal with him in the future. So I think it's going to be prevented in the present, obviously, but I do like that they are. It's not really. It's just something that really wasn't in the original Android and Cell saga. It was more of there's androids, they're evil here in the present, they're evil in the future. I mean, you know, they were obviously less evil in the present, and, you know, they both turned good eventually, but you know what I mean. There's a progression here, and I think it's cool that that is present. But other than that, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you enjoyed the episode, because I did think it was a cool one and a little unique compared to what we've been getting in the arc. It's literally all just storytelling here, and I did like that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.